And we're back. Episode 5 coming live. We got Pulley. We got keyways. We got a big washer for our crank bolt. We got an extended piece of breather hose for the rear diff. And we got the cutting wheel. So I marked out. You can see I just etched it. That part there and this part here is just the little bit we got to cut to get that in there. So I'm going to do that, and we'll test fit that front crank pulley and see how it looks in there. Alright, we'll cut back to it after that's taken care of. Oh, the cuts are a little messy, but I can clean them up with the die grinder later. So we got keyway in, got the belt set on. There's these old belt guides here and here that I'm going to have to undo because that belt is naturally going to want to be basically in line with those. So those are going to have to move out or probably come back a little bit and then be set further out that way. And then I'll do a brace that goes across from here to here in case anything ever happens with this, if it tries to drop. And we're also going to do a collar, and then got some washers, and I'll probably need a few more of these thicker washers to stack it properly. So now we get to see if the 91-inch belt is too long or too short. Okay. So now that's going to be too short with those belt guides still in the way. So I'm going to get those belt guides undone and see how much slack we got. Because you want, when you push the clutch in, to have enough slack so that you can idle and the pulley will just slip on the belt. Right now I think that a 91 is going to be way too tight with that 6-inch front pulley and the 3-inch on the rear transaxle, but we'll find out in a minute here. Alright, so it's a tight fit, but we have our crank bolt. I gotta measure still to make a shim with a piece of pipe, so that'll keep that. There's a set screw and a key, but with the amount of vibration of everything, I gotta make a spacer for that, so I have to cut a piece for there. We wound up with the 92-inch long belt, and the clutch disengages, but a very very small amount. So my thoughts are the belt will stretch. It clears the shifter by just a hair here, and so I'm gonna have to see how this all works out, but we're gonna, I think, hit that cut area with some paint so it doesn't rust, and then we will make our shim, or at the very least put a hose clamp up there for now to keep it from slipping down. So we'll grab a few things and we'll go from there. We got a spacer cut, a little piece of 1-inch pipe, and then this is gonna sit in here like this, and that will keep this keyway. There's a set screw, but this sitting up against that will keep that keyway from dropping, and then the rest of the washers will keep that up there. So just a little added insurance that that's not going to come loose. So we're getting close to riding this thing. I'm going to have to add some gas and extend that. Well, I might leave that breather hose for now until we do some testing, but we'll adjust our rear brake, adjust the shifter linkage because there's some adjustment for that. We'll adjust the clutch pedal that has an adjuster up here, threaded adjuster. It's all the way in right now. I think I can back that off some, but we'll get to that point when we're ready. So we'll impact that down and put this thing on the ground, check tire pressures real quick, and probably get this thing running. And we got it out. I gotta grab a set of jumper cables and a battery because I thought I had a battery set up for this, but I just tested it, and after being on the charger it was still only at like 7 volts, so I gotta get a new battery for that, so that'll start every time. But I figured I'd give you the walk around. It looks pretty good with the 25s and the 19s in the front. We got some fuel in it. And the tires aired up and everything. So we'll get a jumper on her and get it started. Well, we were making pretty good progress on this thing, but I've run into a problem. The last time I was actually cutting grass with this, it was having a hard time starting, and I didn't think too much of it, but I pulled the valve covers off on this, and we'll see. So the upper is the intake valve, the lower is the exhaust. So what's happening is you'll crank the key and it will turn for a second, and then it'll just be like, "Grr," and stop. And there's the intake side. And there should be, once that comes up, a little bump for the decompression. And it's not doing that. So I think we're going to be pulling this engine off the mower, which is fine with me because I'm in no huge rush to be done with this. And I want to do it right. But I guess it's a common problem on these, on the Briggs V-twins like this. There's a little compression release spring on the cam and it'll come apart. Because it's not... yeah, no bump. So, I did some testing. If you pull the spark plugs out, it cranks over fine. So the starter is good. And I had it jumped from the truck to this, thinking at first that maybe it just wasn't enough power to turn it over fast enough, but that there's too much compression for that little electric starter to overcome the that compression. Spins over just fine with those spark plugs out. So I'll be bringing this back into the carport and pulling the motor off of it, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, motor's off. Took a peek inside, and it seems like on this particular setup there is no decompression on the cam. You can see the back. Oh, hold on, let me get it focused here. You can see the back of the cam there. There is no decompression lobe on that. So I think the valves were just so far out of adjustment that it was making it hard for it to be able to turn over. So we're gonna adjust valve lash. While I was in here, I took the wheel off for the governor, which is a gear that rides there and hits a little arm there that goes outside of the block and ties in to keep this from over revving. But that's going to be deleted. And Puppy came to say hello. He's got his Frisbee with him today. So I got to finish cleaning up some of this stuff and put this part back together, and then we will get back to adjusting valves. I have covers on it right now just to keep everything from getting junk in there. But hope everybody had a good New Year's and enjoyed learning a little bit in this 5th video. I picked up another pulley to try for the rear, a 5-inch instead of the 3-inch, to see if that will help with some of the belt clearance problems in the rear. And so we're getting there, we're getting close, but not quite fully there yet. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.